So currently my situation is that in the recent filing, I got my EAD and my date is also current from May 1st. My final action date is also current. So currently what's happening is I have an offer in hand and the joining date for that company is from June 1st. So when you change an employer, so usually it is recommended to file I-485J after you change the employer. But my question is, say like if I change the employer and before I file my I-485J, if my green card gets approved, so what would be the situation? Because since my date is already current, I don't know when it gets approved. But just in case if that gets approved, what would be what is recommended at that point, or is it advisable not to change employer at this moment?
Yeah. So what comes into play then is, obviously, I'm presuming you are AC-21 approvable, right? In the sense that I-140 is approved and more than 6 months is over since the date of your filing, correct?
Yes, correct.
You qualify for the AC-21.
Yes.
So then, and obviously you cannot file AC-21 before June because you're not starting work before June, correct?
Yes.
So then if you file, I would suggest just filing it and letting it be part of the record and having proof that you filed it. And then it gets approved, doesn't get approved, at least you will have a leg to stand on saying that, look, I did the AC-21 as soon as I possibly could, as soon as I changed my employment. So it's just a coincidence that the green card got approved before that, but I sent in my AC-21. I sent in my 485J. So I think you should do it, whatever time. Simply because now we are concerned about your citizenship, right? So in order to be qualified for citizenship, you have to show that you worked. It's not a requirement by law, but in general, they will see if you worked for your employer who filed your green card for at least, or for whoever you did the AC-21 for at least 6 months after getting the green card. They generally look at that. And if you didn't work, then they'll question as to why didn't you work? So just to avoid that questioning, so that your new employer is your current employer for green card purposes, I think you should file the 485J, whether your date is current or not. Even if it's current, you might get an RFE, you might get an interview notice. It's not necessary that it'll be approved the same month, right? So it might take a couple of months to get approved. So my suggestion is file the 485J as soon as possible.